Hey, hi, Lisa Marie here. And yes, something happened here in my office. People were curious about how you have to eat after you've had weight loss surgery. And someone made kind of a comment of, oh, that was the easy way out. So I said, hey, let's do a little experiment and I'll show you what it's like to eat after you've had weight loss surgery. And I said, are you game to do what I need to do and what I do? And they were like, sure, I could do it. No problem. I said, okay, first of all, you have to have a different idea and a different perspective of both your plates and your silverware. Ideally, if you can get something that's the size of the palm of your hand, which would be like a coffee cup saucer, the little saucer, or maybe even one of the small dessert plates, but a salad plate is kind of big. So if you have to have a bigger plate, you want something that has a design in the middle that is about this big, the size of the palm of your hand. And that's the limit. That's your limit of your food. Okay? Next thing is your silverware. Of course, you don't want to be using normal silverware. You want to use the small silverware, like a salad fork or a dessert fork. Better yet, if you get these awesome little sample things, this is going to be very, very, very helpful. So I pulled out my little fork and my little spoon and showed them, and I actually have a baggie of these in my lunch bag, so I gave them their own spoon. And then I said, okay, you have two hands, and this is what you kind of gear your foods and your bites and stuff around. Ideally, when you first have weight loss surgery, your bites are going to be itty bitty tiny, the size of your pinky nail, like that inside part, not the nail. If you got a big old long nail, doesn't count. It needs to be that inside white part. And they were like, you're kidding. And I'm like, okay, you haven't had surgery, so your bite can be the size of the spoon here. Once you get a little further on, your bites can be about the size of your thumbnail. And if you really are a person that really needs a different method of visual aids, I would say when you first start out, your bites are about the size of a dime. A dime is really kind of big. But that would be a good kind of rule of thumb, which if you look at the spoon, look, a dime fits on there. So you're going to be looking at a dime. Maybe when you progress a little bit more, your bites are going to be about a penny. That still fits on there-ish. Whoops. If for some reason you just got to feel extra super normal, the gigantic size of a nickel, which is like your thumbnail, a little bit bigger than your thumbnail, mine anyway, that's the maximum that your bite should be, okay? No more quarters. No more quarter bites. No more end of the thumb bites. This isn't going to work. You aren't going to do it. So I got them ready. We had the plate, and I said, okay, here we go. Oh, have you noticed I have a timer? And they were like, yeah. And I said, okay, really? Idealistically, right after surgery, there's certain things that have a longer period of time between them. And as you go a little bit further, you can actually change it a little. So here we go. We're gonna do it together because you need to see if you have someone that's going to have surgery, has had surgery, or you're thinking of having surgery, this is something that you need to know because unfortunately this is going to be your new, well, it's not unfortunate, it's actually a really good thing. This is how it's going to be for you, and it should be this way for the rest of your life. So here's what you got to do. Okay, you're going to take your bite. Remember, it's your little bite. And you're going to put it in your mouth. And now the big key is put your silverware down. La-la, hands are free. Best of all, if you can sit on your hands. That's right, sit on your hands. Because if you're like me, food addicts, we all want to be able to pick up and put that next bite in as soon as we can. So no, sit on your hands. And now, what do you have to do? You have to chew. And you need to chew at least 20 times, at least, because it needs to get that nice, good consistency of like an applesauce. Okay, so ready? We're taking a bite, putting our stuff down, and now chew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No swallowing. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now what can you do? You can actually swallow, but you're still sitting on your hands. You're still waiting, because now comes the timer. Now we need to wait at least 30 seconds, at least, between the bites. Okay, here we go. We're going to press the timer. And they looked at me like I had two heads. Now what? And I go, well, now you're just going to sit there and kind of wait, enjoy the company. Maybe you're writing something. You can write something. But you're going to actually just sit back, let your body do its job, let it kind of process the food. Maybe you're thinking of your next bite. Maybe you're feeling how this bite's going down. You're kind of checking everything. This is called mindful eating. Okay, there was the 30 seconds. That's really fast. I personally now wait about 2.5 minutes between bites. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, but it's usually about 2.5. Okay, so now you can't just inhale another bite, which is what they started to do. I said, no. Now you have to kind of check with your tummy and check with your body and see how that went down. Because sometimes things go down and, oh, it didn't go down so well. So that means you got to do something different because you can't do that. And the other thing was they started to grab their drink. And I said, nope, sorry. A rule with someone who's had weight loss surgery is never again are you going to eat and drink at the same time. Can't do it because you're flushing out the nutrients in your body and you need everything you put in. And they were like, okay, now what? And I said, now that you feel like your body's okay, it went down okay, what do? You take the bite and you start all over. I made them chew again at least 20 times. And then I made them sit on their hands. And then somebody came in and they looked at us funny. And I said, okay, so that's going to happen in real life. And when that happens, and if somebody says, well, what are you doing? You're like, you know what? I'm just enjoying my food. As you're chewing and you're counting, if somebody really says something, maybe I'm just savoring every bite. I mean, really, you can throw the whole wine thing in there and say you're aerating your food to get better flavor of what's going around. Whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to say anything. You don't even have to explain it. But now you've chewed the 20 times. Now you've swallowed. And what do you got to do? You got to wait the 30 seconds. So now we're waiting. Waiting, maybe talking a little, maybe visiting a little. I know this seems like it's taking forever, right? That's why once you've had bariatric surgery, there's no more rushing. There's no more eating on the fly. There's no more just stuffing a whole thing in your face and off you go. You need to be intentional with your eating times because you need to give yourself at least 30 minutes, if not 40 or 45 minutes, to sit down, calm down, and do what you need to do. Okay, well now by this time, they were like, you really have to do this every meal, every time you eat. And I said, yes, sir, this is exactly how it is. So then one of the other people in the room said, well, what if you don't have your little silverware with you? What if you just have, a normal fork? And I know this isn't a normal fork. The normal forks are ginormous. I said, then that's when I use my finger. And I kind of, nonchalantly pick it up and I hold it here down on the end and I go, okay, I can only take a bite on the prongs. Can you see that? About that far. My nail, my pinky, that's kind of how far I go. So I purposely just use that little bit of the prongs, take a bite, and then I follow the whole process. So they said, okay, well then how do you know when you're done? And I said, okay, there's another part. You don't always get to finish the portion that you've put out. You just don't, because you have to listen to your body. So if after you've taken that bite and you've waited and now you're sitting there and you burp, or you hiccup, or maybe you get a pain in your shoulder, or your nose starts running, guess what? Stop. You need to stop eating. No more eating, no more bites, nothing. Did you know that the surest way and the fastest way to regain weight and stretch out your stomach is to eat too fast and just that one more bite? That's right. Every time you do that one more bite or you eat too fast, then what happens? Those of you who know, you all of a sudden get this. That's the pain. The uh-oh face. Uh-oh, I ate too much. Uh-oh, I didn't pay attention to the hiccup or the burp or the pain or the runny nose. Uh-oh. And you swallowed it anyway. The thing is when you're eating a food, any food, and at any point in your meal, if your brain says, you know what, I think I should spit this out. Spit it out. Don't keep it in your mouth. Have a napkin, have a something, whatever. Spit it out. Do not swallow it, because that is your body kind of giving you a warning with your thought process that you've had enough. And sure enough, when I've paid attention to that, right after that, I've had the little hiccup or the burp or my nose starts running. And I'm like, oh, hey, brain knew what the tummy was doing. They are connected after all. Okay, so, I forgot what I was getting ready to say. Oh, if you have accidentally eaten too much, eaten that one bite too many, stop. Just stop right then. Stop doing it. But then you need to get up, and you kind of might need to walk around and maybe do some stretches, because you're trying to stretch this esophagus area and the upper part of your stomach where that food might be settling. I hope this gives you a little bit of clarity, maybe a little bit of comfort in knowing that we really need to put time between our bites. I know my original doctor said 30 seconds. Hello, I ended up in the ER because I was eating too much, too fast. And my body needs about 2.5 minutes between bites. And that's why I use the Gym Boss, because I can get distracted and 10 minutes could go by, or I get distracted and think it's been 2 minutes and I inhale and then I eat too fast. The doctors that are here local with the support groups that I go to, they tell their patients 5 minutes. They have them wait 5 minutes between bites. Yes, forever. That's the new way of eating. So, if you've experienced some kind of weight regain, you're having issues, maybe whatever, maybe you just need to go back to some of the basics that they told us when we first had surgery. And that is using smaller utensils, definitely smaller plates, taking smaller bites, chewing thoroughly, and then waiting between the bites so that we can get in tune and listen to our bodies again. And hey, maybe you have someone that thinks that you've taken the easy way out and doesn't really understand it. Play a game. Ask them if they're game to do it and have them sit with you. Whether you use the timer on your phone or you use the timer on your watch or you use a timer like the Gym Boss, just use something to keep track. And it makes it kind of fun. And all of them in the room said, oh gosh, you did not take the easy way out. That's hard. And I said, yeah, but it's worth it. So I hope that's helped. Hope you can share it. And about to get back on track. I'm telling you, do it right now. Do it this very next meal. Be intentional, be mindful, and do it for yourself. Okay? Talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.